Welcome everybody to a super special edition of 90 Day Fiance Fridays on a Wednesday, so we could discuss what the heck is going on with the Jasmine pregnancy. And we're discovering tea, and then we're discovering that the tea was taken down. So now it's even crazier tea that we just found out. So we have the whole crew here, and it's like fan driven. We got everybody as co-hosts, so everyone could speak, but as long as we don't speak over each other, it should be good. But yeah, George Mossy and Coco and Elena and Gina and JLP and Lana and JAL and Pineapple Girl, we're all here. So where do we start, George?
Woo! Well, first of all, I just want to address the haters that all said that we made up this baby. Now there's an actual baby. So guys, I don't know how more legit our tea can get. There's a human being now attached to this tea. The all those bloggers who were like, "Oh, there's no pregnancy. She's not pregnant. They're making this up. There's no proof." Now there's a baby, right? And I told people that I was like, I don't know why you think that we're lying about this because a pregnancy produces a baby. So I was like, we clearly have to be telling you legit information because there's going to be a baby in the end. And here it is. Now there's a baby in the end.
It's well, the exciting news was we figured out the time frame of when the baby was born. So it was 3 weeks, as reported by at Shabooty.com. Now I'm trying to figure out, we're hearing news, but I want to confirm from Gina, who's like our expert producer, cyber sleuth. Um, so Gina, can you confirm if the photographer took the post down or not? Until I hear from Gina, I feel like she's the ultimate confirmation. But
Yeah, I was looking at the post, but I don't even know what I was looking for. Gina would know if that post is down, but from what I can see, I don't see the posts anymore. It was a verification of when the actual labor took place. There's been a lot of speculation, right? Like I've actually heard from people saying that they thought the baby was born in January, and I was like, well, I don't want to debunk that, but that's when they filmed the tell-all. So I don't think that the baby was born in January, and then there's been speculation ever since. Like every month that went through, everyone's like, "Oh, she already had this baby. She already had this baby." I actually heard from a blogger who told me that they were gonna go out there and stake out the Planet Fitness just to see if they could catch her going in to the gym not pregnant. So I don't. They weren't able to do that. They actually were seeing if I was gonna go with them, and I couldn't. I couldn't make it happen. But they were really trying to figure out when this baby was born, and now we actually have a timeline.
oh, okay. Well, a couple updates. So Pineapple Girl in the chat, she says she did, meaning the photographer did take it down. This is Pineapple Girl talking. She said, I saw the entire post just a few minutes ago and now it's gone. And then there's a couple things though. It may not necessarily, she may have taken it down not because it was, I think it's hot tea, but I don't think necessarily she took it down because it was super hot tea. I think she might have took it down because the pictures were showing Jasmine's nipples.
Wait, whoa! That what? I didn't
Yeah.
see the post. So did she accidentally leak Jasmine on Instagram?
She's put what was a series of photos, like tasteful, like birthing photos, and then some of them might have had her nipples or something. Is apparently.
Oh, I didn't see that. That
Oh,
that could actually be why she took it down as well. Yeah,
maybe.
because a lot of times the maternity shoots, the wife or mom will sometimes be topless,
Mhm.
and then the dad will like have his hand on her belly or whatever, and then obviously those are more private photos. They're not ones that you would put in a frame in your living room. But a lot of times women do the topless for maternity photo shoots, so that's very possible.
But
Yeah,
she
and then
also has photos that you can actually see other nipples in them.
Yeah, and on the photographer's webpage, I still see a little bit of Jasmine nipples showing. But
but I'm just no, I mean like, but what about I feel like I'm more concerned about Instagram because I'm wondering if she's worried about showing nipples on Instagram.
she
But
did take the pictures down of her actually birthing, I think. Yeah.
and then there's this website. I guess it's based. The photographer's website also has an essay from Jasmine, which I can read too at some point, talking about her birthing experience. So I could read that for y'all at some point.
I'm looking on. I don't think I'm on the right webpage.
Mhm.
Gina, send the actual Instagram page into the group chat because I wanna check something real quick.
True. But do you want me to read while you're checking? Do you want me to read Jasmine's essay?
Yeah, let's hear the essay, what Jasmine had to say about her experience with the photographer,
Hmm.
and I'll be checking out this page and see because if there are other nipple photos that are still up,
Yeah,
then
then,
that she did.
then maybe the tea was super hot. Who knows?
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe because if she didn't take those down and just took these down, it could have just been the pressure got a little too high, or maybe she got a call from someone to
Yeah, I
take
think
something down.
anytime Shabooty something says Shabooty posts a post and it's like a huge Shabooty update, I'm sure some people aren't thrilled that I'm expressing an excitement about a tea update.
Yeah.
Well, we learned from Darcy's daughter that when you talk about something specifically, it gets to be really the heat and pressure goes on. Oh wow, you're right. Okay, so I'm looking at this website, and yeah, you could her nipples are showing in this video, and this too.
Hmm.
I think
Not like okay, so not the it's the round, not the nipple itself, but the dark part.
yeah, the dark part. But they really filtered the pictures to make her look really dark.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Okay,
there's
do you want to read you Jasmine's essay?
Yes.
Okay, it's this is Jasmine's essay in her words. And since Rob got canceled for the like Latina accent, I'm not going to use the Latina accent. Anyway, this is Jasmine talking. She says, and I'll try to read it quick because it's like so it won't bore y'all. It says, I work in reality TV, parentheses, TLC's 90 Day Fiance, but nothing could have prepared me for the experience of giving birth in a foreign country without my family by my side, except for my daughter's father. Once my doctor gave me the green light, I made up my mind to have a natural birth. That's when I came across Due Season Birth Center, and I knew immediately it was a perfect place to bring my daughter into the world. I'd never seen, heard, and validated, or hold on. I had never felt as seen, heard, and validated as I did when I met the midwives and the incredible support team at In Due Season. I'm wondering if In Due Season like comped her the experience. Anyway, In Due Season, just 1 week after finding the right place and the right people to guide me through my birth, my daughter decided it was time to make her grand entrance. Since she was delivered by the most powerful Black woman I've ever met, an immigrant just like me, I endured 5 hours of labor pain, but every moment was worth it when I finally held my sweet angel in my arms. In that instant, I felt like the most powerful woman in the world. There is nothing I would change about this incredible experience. It is a memory I will cherish forever, a beautiful reminder of the strength and love that we as women carry within us. Jasmine Pineda.
Well, that's certainly a lot of words.
yeah.
It was. It was.
So yeah, Gina says the photographer posted it at 6:24 p.m. her time, and now it's gone. But
But the photos that she posted were of the natural birth. There's like the little birthing pool and
Mhm.
everything. But Jasmine was fully clothed in all of them. She even wore a bra in the birthing pool.
So yeah, I think she took it down because the tea was.
I don't see the birthing pictures anymore.
Well, check our group. Check it.
It's
Group, but check our
On the
group.
page, she just left her holding the baby with Matt.
Hmm.
She took them down off of Instagram, but Gina posted them to the group chat.
Yeah.
So now that I'm looking, no, they didn't get taken down for any nipples or anything.
Yeah, I think it was because the tea was hot.
Yeah, I think that the post went up and it caught the attention, I'm assuming, of Jasmine and other people. And then she was finally like, I'm going to take it down. And she took it down.
Well, I'll be. You know what the funny part is like, I actually, well, I didn't get a response, but I texted Liz earlier, and I was like, "So, can you tell me when now that the baby's out in the wild, can you tell me when she had the baby?" And I didn't hear a response. And then after I posted my tea post like 20 minutes ago, I texted Liz, and I said, "Never mind, check my Instagram." So yeah. Anyway, yeah, the tea was hot is the moral of the story.
Well, I think this is the first. I think this is the first time that TLC and like their official page, the 90 Fiance page, they gave a fake birth date for a child. I think this is the very first time. I've never seen this happen before. I mean, they didn't say the baby was born today, but they did not say it wasn't. Usually when they post a baby is being born, it's usually when the baby is actually being born. This is the first time that they created a fake date
No, I,
for the baby.
I feel like I could swear they've done that before in the past where you could just tell it they've held the images for like the best promotional time period.
I mean, we've seen a lot of people give birth actually on the show. We saw Lauren do it a couple times. We saw Emily. Didn't Emily have one of her babies on the show? Something like that at the birthing center also.
Well, with
I feel like we've
COVID,
seen real time babies, like at least more or less the time they were born. Jasmine's baby, I mean, aside from the timeline being off, like the photos of the baby, they seem so filtered. I don't know. It's just like they don't.
Yeah, the photos that TLC posted look super filtered.
Yeah, the baby doesn't seem real. Like who looks just? I mean, well, David's baby looks just like David, but that baby looks like a man.
AI generated.
Yeah, like an AI generated baby. Like, come on.
That's why everyone had a hard time figuring out like how old the baby is because the baby got like filters and AI and shit. You don't know how old the baby is.
He could be going to college right now.
well, well, also on the tell-all, she wouldn't tell us how old the baby was, or no, I'm sorry, she wouldn't tell us how far along she was in her pregnancy. Like they're running some sort of weird scam, like, and they've been playing along with it this whole time because it wouldn't hurt them to tell us when the baby was born or when she got pregnant. They've been purposely withholding that information from us since the beginning.
Well, that can only mean one thing, George. If they're being so sneaky with the timeline of the pregnancy, that means that she was pregnant during filming of The Last Resort, and they had to edit and shift, scenes around and edit most of it out because for the tail end of filming, she was probably already showing, because she's definitely showing on between the sheets.
Yeah, she definitely is showing in that red dress on between the sheets, and that's where
And the flower
everyone,
too, that flowery print dress, she's showing in that too.
yeah, everyone is saying that, oh, she had to have been pregnant during the filming of the show, and I don't necessarily believe that because the show was filmed exactly 1 year, well, 11 months to 1 year ago, and babies are only cooking for 9 months. So I don't believe she was actually pregnant during the filming of that show. And again, I said it's very possible she was, but I don't believe that pregnancy reached full term or whatever, because you can't have two babies in 1 year. So either she was pregnant and then something happened with that, God forbid something happened with that pregnancy, or she wasn't pregnant during the film. I just don't believe that she was during the
So how
actual
long
filming.
does it take to film the Last Resort? How long did it take them to film that?
They started in March and it ended in April of last year. So they were filming for 6 weeks.
I think that it would be more likely that she got pregnant maybe in May or June.
Yeah, I highly
Yeah.
believe that. Yeah.
With
Yeah.
June or July, right?
Yeah, June. Well, 9 months.
Well, I've heard. Well, let's figure it out. So, is there a possibility that it could have been July?
July would have been cutting it close. If she had the baby like actually maybe 3 weeks ago, it could be possible. So it could have been June or July, sometime in the summer. That's definitely after the last resort.
Yeah, yeah. So it was after they left Last
But
Resort.
you guys also got to account for babies being born premature. So it could be her pregnancy was premature and she just kept it under wraps until now, so that we can calculate the timeline, because she's definitely pregnant in between the sheets.
Mm-hmm.
She's definitely pregnant there. And remember,
Yeah, you can tell.
she had a
And
post about the babe, about something about going to the hospital to see, if something was okay, whatever. Could have been that the baby had to be born premature. So premature will be maybe like 7 months, 7, 8 months.
Actually, I did just Google it and I asked Google if someone gave birth mid-March, then they likely conceived around mid to late September. That seems like it's kind of late though.
well, they filmed the tell-all in November, and she was very, very pregnant at the tell-all. So if she got pregnant in September, she wouldn't have been as far along in November. Because the way she looked based on Sean's comments alone, she was like, it looks like you're going to give birth any day, is what Sean said at the tell-all. She looked very far along. So I feel like she couldn't have been a couple of months pregnant at the tell-all. She had to be like,
oh, she looked like she's about 8 months, probably entering the last weeks of her pregnancy.
yeah, it could, and that was in January. The tell-all was filmed in January. So I'm going to go ahead and say that she probably had the baby
in February,
maybe the first week of March.
Mm-hmm.
If it was full term, right?
You know what's funny is like, because again, sometimes it's hard to figure out if, when somebody posts something that's like, you can't tell if they're serious, if it's real tea or fake tea, or if they're being a jackass. But speaking of jackasses, at some point, like Nikki Exotic or Nikki Exotica, as I like to call her, whatever her real name or nickname is, she posted something like, "Oh, I can't wait to meet I can't wait to meet my goddaughter."
yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, so like she said goddaughter, and so daughter means like daughter, obviously. So I saw that, and then but then it's like a question of like, oh, is she trying to troll us or is she being serious? So apparently Nikki Exotica was being serious when she said goddaughter.
And if you remember correctly, when she posted that, she was packing a suitcase.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, I can't wait to go down to Florida to see my goddaughter. And if you remember, that was about 3 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
So that actually might have been a legitimate post.
Yeah.
That she was going down to the Clearwater area for the birth. And since Jasmine did a natural birth, she was able to get a date where she would go to the birthing center, so she could have told people in preparation, the baby is going to be born on this specific day or between this day and this day, so you would know when to come down. So Nikki might have actually given us the actual time of birth, and we didn't believe her because she kept trolling in the past, right? She would post things and troll in the past, so it's very possible that she did tell us exactly when the baby was born. We just weren't listening to her because she's been bullshitting us lately.
True. So what do you think of like Jasmine now that the baby's here? She's still posting freaking Amazon gift links for people to buy the baby.
You know what? But okay, here's the thing. Like, I think it's like if people want to do it, they're gonna do it. And she's just taking this as an opportunity to do so.
Taking advantage though.
I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
sure, but there are lots of people who do this. It's not like she's the only person that does this. I mean, think of like all the cam girls out there that do it. I mean, they can afford it, but they're still posting it.
Yeah, this is true. You're right. You're right.
So I mean, I think
You're
there's
right.
way worse shit to like falter on than posting an Amazon wish list. I'm just gonna say that.
You're right, but it's also more fun to just dunk on her for being.
I know, but I'm like, she's a
I
horrible
mean,
person. I was like, there's way more shit to like go on about her than her Amazon wish list.
Granted that her baby daddy's a tow truck driver, she might need the gifts.
I mean,
But
hey.
and I made a comment where I was like, but it's funny that I was thinking, I was like, you know what? If you are a legit tow truck driver, and then you imagine if you're a tow truck driver and your baby mama or whatever is like Jasmine, but that's kind of like the perfect occupation for having an excuse to get the fuck out of the house when she's yelling at you. I think Jasmine's like yelling at you. Come on, Matt, go change the baby's.
Matt, what are you doing? Why did I sound like Arnold Schwarzenegger? Why did I sound like Arnold Schwarzenegger?
You better pick up the baby now. She crying.
Yeah, she's like yelling at you, and then Matt's like, "Oh, there's a guy. He has a flat tire in the side of the highway. Sorry, Jasmine, I gotta go give him a lift in the tow truck. Gotta run."
Yeah,
He's gonna leave and never come back.
well, she already started giving hints that he's just.
Well, did she post something earlier about like about Matt and like how she didn't think he was this person and like she's just focused on herself for the next 5 minutes until the next man comes along? Or was I like hallucinating that post?
No, I saw it. No, I saw that too.
Something about she's done with men or something for now, something like that.
Yeah, and she's
Yeah.
focusing on herself or
Focusing
whatever.
on herself.
Yeah.
And I was like, how about you focus on your kids? That's what you
Mhm.
should be focused on. I think Jasmine has had enough time to be focused on lately. You should focus on your kids.
I just
Well, at least the ones that are stuck in the U.S. and not overseas, right?
Well, yeah, because they're watching her start a brand new family, and
I mean, do you know
they're
how heartbreaking that is for the kids?
they're
yeah.
probably losing hope, right?
Of
She's
course
like,
they are. They're
"Oh,
like,
I'm
oh,
coming
mom has
back
an
for
anchor
you."
baby now.
Well, yeah, she's like, "I'm coming back for you. Don't worry, nothing has changed." And then they open their Instagram, and she's smiling, happy with a new baby and a new man. You know,
Are
it's not looking very hopeful that she's actually coming back now.
are her and Gino officially divorced though?
I haven't heard that they were. Divorces are usually public record. Just sometimes you have to pay a fee, but when it goes fully completed, there'll be a divorce decree that you can look up. And I haven't seen anything, and I know people have been checking because I believe it would go in Michigan's file because they were married in Michigan. So people have been looking, and it does not say that there's a decree of divorce between the two of them.
True. And then one thing I feel, aside from the literal baby part, though, as far as like social media side of things, that I feel bad for Gino for is like, imagine like how many DMs Gino's getting today about the baby. And I know Florian was trolling him in the comments and said, congratulations on the stepson. But like, imagine like Gino's DMs, how annoying it must be, like, fielding questions about Jasmine's baby. So I feel bad that he has to deal with all that bullshit today.
Yeah, people
Definitely.
think it's funny and everything, but this is actually Gino's real life. Like for a lot of people, this is a TV show, and it's like a telenovela. It's this woman who's married who got pregnant by the pool boy. Basically, it's like this fun, entertaining story. But this is real life shit for Gino. This isn't funny or entertaining. This is his real marriage that fell
I,
apart.
I feel like we got the shitty side of Gino because a lot of people are coming to his defense saying, well, that's what happens when you don't, fuck your wife or when you don't do this or how he treated her badly. But I feel like he can't speak and say reasons why he withheld sex. It's probably because he already knew she was out in the streets. So but he didn't want to ruin the show by saying, well, I don't want to sleep with you because you're sleeping with this person. She was definitely already with Matt for a while, so that could be the reason why he was, so standoffish with her at the last resort.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, I'm positive. When they first got to the resort, she tried to lay in the bed with him, and he rejected her, and everyone was like, wow, look at the way he's rejecting her. And I think that rejection was because he knew that she was sleeping with Matt. And it's crazy because I think that he's always known what was going on. Like, let's be realistic. Gino knows what's going on. He has Instagram, he has the internet. People have been telling him. People have seen her. People know what her actions are since she's been gone. And I think when he was at the resort and they were in the same room, that was probably really hard for him because he's like, I don't want to sleep in the bed with a woman who I know is out banging other people,
Yeah,
right?
I feel like the network bullied him into that storyline. Like, okay, listen, you gotta, she's knocked up. That's it. So you just gotta go with the flow. You know.
They bullied Jasmine into I mean, not Jasmine, they bullied Gino into the storyline. They bullied the like sex therapist into the bullshit storyline.
Yeah, they bullied them to all make it look like she's, to justify what she did. I mean, no matter how you put it, it's wrong. It was wrong what she did. If she was unhappy, she should have gotten a divorce, but that would have fucked up her immigration status, so she had to stay married. Now she's has a baby from somebody else. Now, how does that look on her immigration status? Because I know Gino's not going to give the baby the last name.
Mhm. Yeah,
So how does that look?
that baby and that baby is not Italian. Last time I checked.
No, no. So
No, that kid
how's
is
that going to
blonde
play
as can
out?
be.
That's infidelity. Those are grounds for deportation and fraudulent marriage.
Mhm.
And then, the government, I mean, we're spitballing on the timeline of the baby, but the government is going to be like, hold on, hold on. You were
Well,
married to this man and you had a baby at this time? Nope.
I think that she already has her green card though. So I don't know. Like, I don't know. I'm not a
No,
expert
you get
on.
your green card like 2 years after you're here, sometimes even
Yeah, but
sooner.
I do know we learned with Andre, they routinely um review everything. So what my question would be is, yeah, she does have her green card. She has working papers, everything that she has, but are they going to routinely review it and then go back and say, hey, you were married to this man, but you had a baby with this man and you were living with this man? Like, or would they go back and review that and then, change their mind based on what happened in the past? I don't know how that works.
Well, it could be problematic because if she's paying taxes, she's gonna have to put the child down on her taxes. So they're gonna be like, wait a minute, where did this baby come from?
I mean, if it was a no offense, Elena, because I know you like certain politicians, but if it was a normal administration, I think Jasmine would be fine. But this administration, Jasmine does have to sweat a little bit.
Yeah, she's skating on thin ice. She's it's kind of a tricky situation if she does pay taxes, which I'm sure she does because
She
she has
has to, especially with OnlyFans. They're
yeah,
very strict about that.
so she has to pay taxes, so she has to put the child down as a dependent, right? So they're
Yeah.
gonna okay, so you had a baby and wait a minute, but you're married, so who's this baby? Why is the last name different? It's a lot of paperwork, it's a lot of red tape. That was a risky move on her to get pregnant.
And then, well, one thing George has said in the past was like, like if in terms of like immigration shit, George has said that like TLC does not step in as far as your paperwork and like vouch for you. They just let
No, they won't write a statement. There's been times where they've been asked to make a statement or to go in an immigration interview to help immigration with a situation, and they refuse. They say that they are an observer of the situation, but they will not get involved in any way. So, for instance, if you need them to write you a letter, like say you need something to help you with your case, they will not get involved in any way whatsoever.
Yeah, because those situations, like right now, Jasmine's situation could compromise the show. They'd be like, wait a minute, you're bringing people over here under false pretenses,
like I know that's the precedent, George, but like, so if it was a situation, this is a hypothetical, and I know the precedent is they don't get involved, but the hypothetical I'm trying to present is if it was as simple as ICE is like knocking on Jasmine's door, and all it would take would be for the CEO or whatever of Mr. Lee of TLC to write a letter and send it to the Trump administration and say, "Hey, Jasmine is like our star player. She's a celebrity. She's like a entertainer, and we want to give her the entertainment visa. Please get off Jasmine's back, and here's a letter vouching for her." Do you think they would ever consider that?
No.
No.
No,
They don't negotiate
won't.
with terrorists.
Don't negotiate with terrorists, Shabooty. Just
Yeah.
don't.
Negotiate with terrorists.
They won't. And, they actually, because I can't say how I know this, but they actually were presented with something where someone couldn't get approved for a visa and they did want to get a work visa. And they needed the network to say we're employing them in the US, and the network refused to do it. So they just don't step in, they don't get involved. Kind of like when they're filming Teen Mom or one of the other shows, they don't like for instance, I heard about a scene where the teen mom and their friends were out eating and their card declined. And instead of the network swiping their card because they were filming and taking care of it, the restaurant called the police. And they really wouldn't get involved. The girl's mom had to come and swipe the card, even though the network is paying them to film the show. They were present. They could they
I mean, you got to believe that because there has been instances of accused or alleged domestic violence in one or two couples, and the network doesn't get involved either.
Yeah, they can. For legalities, they can't.
Yeah, even if they witnessed it, they
Well, I was like,
cannot.
remember? Oh, sorry. Go on.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say even if they witnessed it, the only way they'll get involved is if the court subpoenas. Like, say for instance, the victim says we were filming at the time when the person hit me. Then the court will send a subpoena for the video. That's the only way that they'll get involved is when it's not an option. They have once the court requests information from you and they subpoena it, you have to comply. That's the only way that they would get involved.
Yeah, they don't get involved. It can cause them it can cause them a lot of problems. So those are things that people should think about. I remember when Stephanie, remember Stephanie, the crazy one that used to drink a lot, when she said she was suing the network because
The chick from Michigan.
she had
Yeah, yeah.
network because the guy he sexually abused her or did something and robbed her or something like that.
She said a lot of different
Yeah,
things. She said
during
that
filming.
they didn't reimburse her for plane tickets, which actually in your contract it says that they don't reimburse for plane tickets. But I don't like to defend Stephanie, but there's been numerous instances where the network expensed plane tickets because they wanted to film with certain people and they couldn't afford the
Oh,
plane
I'm
ticket.
sure they do. I'm sure they fit the bill for their main character.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, they subtracted it from their
From
payment.
your payment.
But they did because they had a timeline of when they wanted to film something, and then the person was like, "Well, I can't go over there now. I don't have the money for a plane ticket." And then they would expense it for them, and then pay them and take it out of their pay at the end. So Stephanie wasn't 100% wrong when she was saying they're not doing the same thing for everybody because they weren't. They would do certain things for certain people, but legally they didn't step in for any type of visa. Getting a visa, the visa process, the application of a visa, they didn't do any of that.
Yeah, I think is it just because the philosophy of like they really don't need to suck any cast members' balls because it's just everyone wants to be a cast member these days?
Well, they also tell people because I know Devin was on the show last week and she said they told her we will not move forward with you until you have the visa approval in your hands.
Mm-hmm.
But other people have said that they didn't, like for instance Nikki Exotica, when she went over to, oh my god, where did she go to see Justin? It's slipping my mind now. Where
Turkey?
Turkey, I believe she went.
Turkey.
She didn't even file for, or I think she had filed for it but hadn't heard anything back. And by the time they were done filming, they still hadn't heard anything back, and they still filmed with her. So they do, depending on how much they like the cast member, they do tell them different things. Because they told Devin, they were like, "We're not going to do anything until you're actually approved." But they let Nikki Exotica film a whole season without an approval. So it definitely depends on how bad they want to feature you on the show. They do make up their own rules. I have noticed that.
Yeah, I just know if I was a cast member and they have the two hotels, they have the Big Shot Hotel and then they have the Rinky Dink Hotel for the lesser cast member
At the Motel 6.
hotel, I'll be so pissed.
Imagine they put you up in a one of those truck stop motels.
That's so weird. I had never heard that before because usually everyone is at the same hotel. Like I know different tell-alls. I've heard that they were all at on, like for instance, I heard a bunch of people will be on one floor, a bunch of people will be on another floor. Because every now and then there's a couple cast members that don't get along that are on the same season, so they'll put them like 4 or 5 floors apart. But they're all in the same building. So I was really surprised that they have like a rinky dink hotel for their lower end cast members, and then they have like a Ritz Carlton that they put the big name people in. I was very surprised by that.
Well, it's probably because in New York, like if you've ever, of course, you've been to New York City. In the city, the hotels are way more expensive than if you like you put, for example, Shabooty in a hotel in Times Square, and then you put like some rando in New Jersey, right over the bridge or something like that, because it's cheaper. The further away from the city you are, the cheaper the hotels are, but they keep the main cast right in the city, and those hotel rooms are very expensive in New York.
Yeah, and
It,
then I thought it was interesting when Devin was saying, I mean, it didn't surprise me, but it was interesting when she said, so basically they pick you up. This is like, it's kind of common sense, but anyway, they pick you up out of the hotel into a black town car or whatever, or whatever, like a GMC, SUV, and then they just drive you and they don't tell you where you're going. So they don't, like tell you, because I'm like familiar with like New York City. So they don't tell you like, hey, we're picking you up and we're taking you to a shitty part of Brooklyn, aka now I'm having flat.
Yeah, we're dropping you off in the ghetto.
No, what was it called again? Bushwick, Brooklyn.
Yeah.
So they don't tell you like, hey, we're taking you out of Manhattan, we're taking you to Bushwick, Brooklyn, which is kind of a shithole, and then
Oh my gosh, Shabooty.
you like pop out
I
of the.
mean, all these areas are shitholes, but they're gentrifying. I know when my husband
I'm
lived
being
in
funny.
Bushwick, Bushwick was bad.
I'm being funny. I actually do like going to Bushwick, like and going to the clubs out there and shit.
Well, because
I
it's
used to live in Park
gentrified.
Slope.
Hmm.
Yeah, Park Slope is nice, but Bushwick they've really picked it up. They gentrified it.
It's a nice area now. I actually like hanging out there. I'm being funny, but there's like like street art and shit. But
Yeah.
compared to Manhattan, you're getting it.
Well,
Yeah, compared to
yeah.
Midtown, you're
I was
not.
gonna say it's no Manhattan. Like when
Oh,
you go,
Midtown, exactly.
yeah,
Yeah, so they're taking you out of Manhattan, and because especially it's like because it's like imagine if you're like a kid or something like I can't wait it'll be
You
all
know,
on
it was
top.
so funny, Shabooty. She made it sound like they put like a black hood over your head and just drive you. Just
yeah.
throw you,
This
She
is
throw
what
you in
you're
the back of the
saying
truck.
now.
she described it like they were driving her to the Fight Club,
Yeah, they just throw a black hood
right?
over your head and throw you in the back of the truck. Just
Right. They throw you in the back of the truck, and then when they pull you out of the truck, there's a bag over your head. She did describe it because she's like, I don't even know where I was. I just got in a car and I woke up at the tell-all, and I was like,
What?
that's yeah,
they
that's
No, I
drive,
really
know, but it just sounded like they drugged her.
yeah, like they drive you
This
around.
is
You
like
don't know where you at.
this is TLC's version of Saw.
Wait,
That's like what it sounds like.
yeah, when they pick you up in Manhattan, they don't say, "Hey, we're taking to a lesser fortunate area," but yeah, you just end up in Bushwick, and then you
They
see.
just ask you if you know how to fight.
Good luck. Good luck to all of you.
Here's a can of pepper spray. Good luck.
Oh, they're being so gentle and kind. That's nice. Pepper spray.
But Bushwick is actually a cool area to hang out. But I just think it's funny in terms of like show business. It's not where Tom Cruise would hang out.
well, no, it's no. Well, Stamford, Connecticut used to be where everybody had to film, and then they stopped filming there, and now everybody's just filming wherever they can find a studio in New York is what they're basically doing.
Any empty vacant warehouse.
Yes, exactly.
Any
Ex-
vacant warehouse is a studio now. They throw that same cheesy rug and all the chairs sitting around.
Yeah, and the natural concrete wall
Yeah,
is your backdrop. Yeah, it's very very
like a big storage unit.
yes, it's yeah. So it is interesting where these I like it when because I think the last tell all we saw they showed them go outside and we got to see the area around the tell all the one that they filmed with Angela and it was pretty rough outside of that one as well and I was like
Yeah,
man
that
they
was
did
like 106 in Park around there.
yeah and I was like oh wow
Yeah, that's Harlem, so that's like oof.
I was like we in the
Yes,
ghetto
yeah.
we
He
in the
was in them streets. He
ghetto.
was in them streets.
Yeah, they was in the streets. I mean, but it gave the cast members a little street cred because they went outside to eat, and I was like, look at them outside eating in the streets. Look at them. Look at Gino eating in the hood.
That's funny.
You know what, guys? I'm still stuck on Jasmine's statement that Shabooty read. Because if you guys think about it, when she was talking about the part where she went to go see the birthing center, after that, she said, and then all of a sudden, my baby decided to make her entrance, basically trying to set it up to where we'll believe the baby came early. But I guarantee you that baby was full term.
Mhm.
Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, it's so weird to me the way that she's guarding her date of actual labor. I've
Right.
never really experienced that where she wants no one to know when the baby was actually conceived or born. And I know she tried to say on this hello, like, oh, it's a superstition. And I was like, no, I don't think it is. There's something going down with the date of conception and the date of birth where
Oh, for sure.
she won't give that information out.
Look at the pictures and everything.
No,
You can't just take pictures like that after a baby was just born 1 or 2
Hell
days.
no.
Are you kidding me?
you can't expose your baby to flash and all that.
No.
No.
And
There's
the
no
eyes
way.
aren't even open when they're right born.
Exactly.
Exactly, yeah.
Do you
Yeah,
think
there's no way that was a newborn baby.
That baby
No.
looked like he was ready for his close up.
I was actually shocked. I was actually shocked when they said it was a newborn baby because I was like, well, that baby looks a couple months old.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Do you think the birth, because in that essay or whatever that Jasmine wrote, she mentioned the birthing center more than once. So do you think the birthing thing was like comped for her mentioning it?
Oh,
I
for
don't
sure.
know.
With her
I was
greedy
look
ass, I'm sure she asked him first. If I post you guys, do I get some money off? Do I, you know what I mean? Because
Probably
that's
a
who she
discount.
is.
Probably like a discounted rate.
Right? Yep.
I
Yeah.
don't know. I was reading it and I noticed there was stories of other women as well.
Mhm.
And I was like, well, the birthing center, if everybody writes up a blurb about it, they still have to charge somebody money because you can't just give people free services, if they write something. So I
Right.
was like, I'm assuming it was a discount,
Mhm.
Yeah, they'll probably
not,
give her a discount, but not gonna let her
yeah.
for free.
Oh, and then here's a $1 million question, which is kind of like obvious, but it's actually still a good question, even though it's an obvious question. I know there's photos of the birthing experience, but I assume since she's a big shot star now, that the TLC cameras were there as well,
At the
Mm.
actual birth?
or at least like surrounding it, and like maybe not like showing the. Well, yeah,
That would be a good diaries. That would make it for a good diary. So yeah, you know what, Shabooty, you're probably right.
Well, if
yeah,
you think about it, wouldn't they own the rights to do that?
yeah. You would actually. Well, it is a learning channel, and they do show gruesome shit. No offense to childbirth.
And and they need more material for the next season of diaries.
Of course. This is all I think this is just all of I mean, I'm gonna be all conspiracy theorist here, and it's like a ploy for another show and another show into
Yeah,
another show.
she's never getting off our screen.
No, she's not. This is what happened. Thank you, TLC.
Yeah. So George, George? You sound like what's the word like? But yeah, why wouldn't the TLC cameras be running during that whole experience?
I mean, they could have. I
Mhm.
mean, they could have been there I mean, if it was for diaries, it would have been a self shot set
I
scene,
don't.
whatever.
I think nah, they're saving her for more than diaries.
I mean, it could be a special that they're gonna film, like how some people get a wedding special, like they're on the show, but then they give them like their own
Yeah,
episode of their wedding. It
yeah,
could be
they
like
did that.
her.
Yeah,
It
like
could be like a birthing episode for her. I thought they would have done it with David and Annie, but since they filmed out of the country, it might have been a little difficult for them to get the birth on video to do a special. But
yeah,
yeah, it could be like a birth special for her and Matt that they're gonna air at a later date, and that might be why they didn't tell us exactly when the baby was born and everything, or when it was conceived, because it could be aired on a later date on a special that will correspond with maybe another show they're gonna be on. So they have to strategically release things at certain times, to work with that schedule.
Yeah, well, that's the part that's annoying is, let's say this. So if the birth happened you have to think about it this way. If the let's say it's okay, so according to my post now, so if the birth happened 3 weeks ago, and the way TLC shows work is when they record something, we're not going to see it for like 6, 7, whatever, God knows how many months, 8 months, depending on how busy the schedule is, 6, 7, 8 months later. So we shouldn't get all excited because let's say they did film the birthing with the TLC cameras. We're not going to see it till freaking like 8 or 9 months later, if not, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's
But they
true.
gotta, they gotta keep stuff in the chamber for.
The cycle though from
Yeah,
like recording to air is so long that by the time we see the child's going to be in like college and shit.
yeah, the kid is gonna
The
be.
child's gonna I
He's
shouldn't
gonna be
say that.
doing
I'm
his
not
own.
even gonna say it.
He's gonna be doing his own interviews.
Yeah,
His, his own little when they do their own little interview,
like the testimonial style, whatever.
old
I
testimonials.
would love to hear the child talking about his experience with Jasmine. I would love to hear that. Like, I cried for 3 hours before she realized that I was crying. Like,
Oh my
I would
God.
love to hear, right? I would love to hear the child explain to us what it's like living with Jasmine. I would just love to hear that.
Yeah, and then like I would love to hear the child saying like, "Yeah, I didn't even know I had siblings till 5 minutes ago."
Yeah, they'll ask the baby like, what do you think about your brother and your other brother and your auntie or whatever? He's like, who? I didn't know I had brothers. What do you mean? I have brothers and an aunt? I didn't
I got
know.
more family.
Right?
And they live in a place called Panama. I've never even heard of that.
And the kid's like, "Wait, I gotta join the family business. I gotta do like cameos and I gotta tow cars."
Well,
And you
Yeah, I
notice
would
all
love
the
that.
posts that Jasmine has done so far. She hasn't once talked about her boys. how, oh, I can't wait for my sons to meet their little sister. She
Yep,
hasn't said
yep.
absolutely nothing.
Yep, she hasn't said, and that's a good point, Lana. She has not said, "Oh, my mom is so happy. I can't wait for him to, for
Right.
meet her siblings or take her to Panama." She completely forgot about that country.
She sure
Unless she's
did.
listening, she's gonna start posting that shit tomorrow.
Well, yeah,
Watch.
that's how you can tell she's listening. Tomorrow it'll be posted up. Watch.
Yep.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, "Fuck!" I heard on Shabooty's podcast that I need to engage more with the kids in Panama.
Maybe a little girl is what she's always wanted.
I mean,
Yeah, that's true.
the jury's still out on the one that she says is her sister.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, that's true.
So we don't know if that
is true.
because I don't know, that sister story is kind of weird.
Well, I think that if that would have been hers, she had her pretty early
Yeah.
in life.
Oh, yeah.
So
I mean,
she
but
probably.
that's not uncommon.
No, it's not uncommon, but
No,
I think.
So I wouldn't put it past her.
And you know what? It's probably a situation where the mother told the sibling that they were siblings rather than that's her mother.
It's
So
the Jack Nicholson thing.
yeah, they didn't want to tell her.
Jack Nicholson's mother was actually his Jack Nicholson's mother was his grandmother and
Wow.
or sister, and then the grandmother was his actual mother.
Yeah, it's one of those.
It's like one of those situations.
This actually does happen. I don't want to get too detailed, but when I was younger, I grew up in like a cult, and somebody got pregnant really early on in life, and they passed that child off as their parent's child.
Yeah, that's been done before.
Yeah, so this happens more often than you think, but since I was in a weird religious cult, like a 14, 15-year-old girl shouldn't have been having kids, so they just passed this child off as I don't even know how. I was young, so don't ask me how they got away with it, because how did the grandmother not be pregnant? But they passed it off as it was the girl's mom's child, and they raised it as such. And then later in life, my mom and other people told me, they're like, oh, that's not
Well,
really.
you know what? Probably the girl doesn't. If she is, let's just say, if she is Jasmine's daughter, she probably doesn't even know that Jasmine's her daughter, her mother. She probably thinks it's her sister. That's probably something
Well,
they kept.
that's the thing. I do think Jasmine's mom raised her.
Yeah,
I
she
do
raised her.
believe that. Because I think if Jasmine had her early in life, Jasmine wasn't trying to be nobody's mom. She's not trying to be nobody's mom now. So I know that Jasmine's mom did raise her. So like you said, the daughter might have, speculations or reservations on what's going on, but the daughter is probably raised by the grandmother, and she sees that as her mother. And that's why her and Jasmine are so close, because her and Jasmine are just friends that hang out. So yeah, I believe that.
Yeah, she looks too young to be the mother's daughter because the mother's a lot older. So she would have probably had to have her. Let's say that's the mother's real daughter. She would have probably had to have her. She was in her late 40s, mid 40s.
True. Now, Sherry just joined us. Sherry, if you want to speak, let me know.
Hey, Sherry.
Hey, Sherry.
But so did you? I will say that baby does look like Matt a lot, as Matt's features.
Which
All
is
I said-
crazy because you wouldn't be able to tell that right away if it was a newborn.
Exactly. You don't start seeing what the baby.
No, not for a
like
few months or
for
like
a few
even a
months.
year. But we'll.
And the baby has absolutely no features of Jasmine. He came out blonde, white blonde with blue eyes, no
Full
dark
set
hair.
of hair. Get out of
Yeah.
here.
No, his genes are strong, but the baby would have came out at least with something of hers.
I thought that was an AI generated photo.
Yeah, I think
I did too.
It looked as though they took a photo of Matt and put it in an AI photo generator and
They
said,
probably fucking did.
I wouldn't be surprised.
because it looked too much like him, but as a baby.
If she was hiding so much the timeline, you think she's gonna show actual pictures of what the baby looks like? Fuck around, it's probably Gino's baby.
Yeah, if you guys take a close look at that picture of the baby that they show by itself, the baby looks blind in that picture. Literally.
It looks like possessed, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's definitely AI generated.
It is.
That when y'all, I saw it, and
There's an
the
app
first.
that you can do that, by the way, where you can like see like, and it's like very realistic. I forgot what it's called, and you can see what your baby would look like.
Yeah, I've seen people do that. You take two
Yeah,
people
it's
and you mix it
take two
together.
people, yeah, and see what your kids would
They
look
do
like.
that at sperm banks, I think.
But that's what it looked like to
Kyle will know.
me. When I saw it, I was like, "This is not a real photo." It just did. It looked too much like Matt. Because, like
Yeah.
you said, when babies are first born, they don't look like anything. They just look like a blob. They
Yeah.
don't look like anything. They don't have any features. They're just like a blob of skin. And then after a while, they start, to look like things or people or whatever.
She
So,
probably figured. She probably figured since David's baby looks just like him.
So George, like from the network marketing perspective, can you explain to us like why today would have been like a perfect time to drop the baby photo? I know there's one more episode of the tell all, so that's more promo for that.
I haven't figured out the significance of doing it today.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's no new shows activate or announce that they're going to go into. So I haven't figured out the significance of today, but we found out she was pregnant at the tell-all, and we knew that she was really far along. So it made sense to announce that the baby was born now, because we were already speculating, oh, I think she had this baby already. It was going around. And just like when we announced that she was pregnant, nobody wanted to say anything about it until we announced it. Then after I think a month or so, they had to announce it because it was going around. And I was like, it could just be that we knew she was pregnant. We knew that she was really far along in January. We know that she's not going to carry the baby for 11 months. They probably were like, we need to just, release that the baby was born.
Yeah.
But I don't know why today, like a Wednesday, was like the perfect marketing strategy for it. But I think when they announced that she was pregnant, they also did it on a Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken. It was a random middle of the day announcement, which I thought was really weird.
Well, I know. Yeah, I would have to go back and check when that video of her being the pregnancy announcement video dropped. But I can speak on today. I'm pretty sure it was probably like a scheduled post and it dropped literally at like 11 a.m. Eastern time.
Okay, Shabooty, you got to do a meme on that. You got to do a side by side with Jasmine and with Annie and write something like who did it first or who did it best or something.
Right? She almost had her baby the same time as Annie.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yes.
They're neck and neck.
Yep. I wonder which one was born first.
I bet Big Ed is very jealous about that.
And then and then also when it was posted on like Instagram, I think was it the 90 Day Fiance and the TLC account was like a collaboration poster.
Yes, her announcing that she was pregnant. It was a collaboration post.
Well, no, well, I mean, true, but what the one today though?
Yes.
The baby
today. It was a collaboration post today too. Yeah,
but it was with like 90 Day Fiance and TLC accounts, right?
Yeah, because I seen their post first, and then right after I seen Jasmine post it.
Yeah, but it wasn't the point I'm trying to make though. That's true, but the point I was trying to make is like the actual announcement post of today with the baby. It was like Jasmine's account wasn't in the collaboration of that.
Huh.
Oh, they didn't collaborate with her.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they collaborated with her on the pregnancy announcement.
Even that photo looks photoshopped when she's holding the baby in pink with Matt. And she just
yes.
photoshopped. So yeah, and the baby looks way smaller than the other baby that she's that has the eyes wide open and everything with all full head of hair.
I think the picture, if it is real, I'm not convinced of that. I think that that's the baby now.
That's the baby now. Maybe like a month.
Not when it was first born. Yeah, I think that's the baby now. That's my
2 months.
theory. Correct. I think that that's the baby now. And those pictures where they're posting in the collaboration post, that might have actually been within a week of the birth. But I think the picture that she posted today where it looks like Matt, I think that if that's a real photo, that picture is from like this week.
Yeah.
But By the way, Gina, no, we haven't heard your voice in a while. I know you were asking if we can hear you or not. But anyway.
Oh no, she sent to the group chat. They did collaborate with Jasmine
What,
on the
today,
post.
though? Like, today?
Yes, it's in the group chat.
Oh.
Oh.
It says collaborators TLC, Jasmine, Panama, and 90 Day Fiance. So maybe when you saw it, she hadn't accepted it. When you do a collaboration post, it only shows the people that have accepted it. So say for instance, TLC and 90 Day Fiance were the only thing you saw. She has to literally open her Instagram account and accept the collaboration. So
No,
maybe
but
when you saw it, she hadn't accepted the collaboration yet.
no, but I could send it to you right now. It just says 90 Day Fiance and TLC. It's not a big deal, but
Well, but I'm telling you, that's exactly what it says until the other person or other people accept
yeah,
the
but I'm saying
collaboration.
she's still, let's say that's the case, but she hasn't accepted it because right now it still just says 90 Day Fiance and TLC.
What do you mean? There's a picture in the group chat that shows her as a collaborator. Okay, hold on. You said it's. Let me check. Oh, she has you blocked, so you won't be able to see the
Oh, I
collaboration.
forgot about that. Fuck.
Yeah. So
Okay,
since you're blocked, the collaboration will only list the people that don't have you blocked.
that totally makes sense now. That's why I was all confused.
Yeah, that's what it is, because I don't see it either.
Oh, there we go. We got to the bottom of that.
Yeah, but in Gina's screenshot, it says that Jasmine is a collaborator. But yeah, since she has us blocked, we can't see who she collaborates with.
That's so funny, but yeah, that's what happened. Anyway, that's interesting. Okay, this is like not related to Jasmine, but since we have a very exclusive audience, do y'all want to know who I was DMing with last night? Dear audience. So I was DMing,
Yes.
I was DMing with Mahogany.
Oh.
Isn't
Oh
that
wow! Did she tell
exciting?
you how Ben is?
I asked, but she wouldn't really speak much on Ben, but she was sending me like voice messages and let me back up. She started a brand new account and she was looking for me to help her promote it. And then anytime with Mahogany account, like a brand new Mahogany account, that sounds extra fake. She's fake on her own. And then I was like, well, send me like a photo. And then she sent a photo, but it wasn't like it could have just been an old photo or any other photo. And then she sent me some voice messages and it definitely sounded like her. But then I was like, send me a photo like, because I don't know, first, did you see like Summit posted a photo holding up a phone with like my Instagram post? You saw that photo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, so I wanted like Mahogany to take a similar photo, like either like hold up right at Shabooty on a piece of paper and hold it up and take a photo, or like go to my Instagram and take a photo holding up my profile in the photo. So I wanted like visual proof of life evidence. So I haven't gotten that, but I've gotten voice messages so far. But I was DMing her and getting voice messages, and it definitely sounded like her. So
Well, Shabooty, you're gonna be her next sugar daddy. I mean,
Yeah.
I want, because I did hear a little bit of it, and I love the way she said your name.
yeah, she did. I did make her say Shabooty.
Shabooty. Did you say your name, Shabooty?
It was very Michael Jackson, right? It was very Michael Jackson.
Shabooty, does she speak English now or not yet?
Yeah, she speaks English, but it's not perfect. But so I'm gonna try to get. Long story long, I'm gonna try to get her on the podcast. Hopefully Friday. I don't know if she's available, but hopefully try to get her on the podcast.
Wait, so she wouldn't send you a proof of life post, but she's gonna do a podcast?
Nah, I don't know. I don't know.
I think she means. But
I
she
don't
may
know.
think podcast means meet up with Shabooty and
Oh, she probably because Zoom. Everybody associates Zoom with visual. Like the camera and picture of you. So
Not.
she's not familiar with the Zoom audio only.
She sent like a lot of voice messages. So if you're gonna catfish, I don't know. There's a lot of voice messages, but anyway, yeah, she
Well,
said.
if you remember when we met her on the show, she was the original catfish. Everybody thought that she wasn't real.
Yeah.
And everything about her led back to catfish. And then when remember when Ben got there and she was real and we saw her, everybody was like, "Oh my God, she's
Yeah.
not fake." I
Yeah,
remember watching it.
And her apartment was fake. Everything was fake.
Everything about her is fake. So when you told me that she was messaging you, The first thing I did was laugh hysterically because I was like, oh my God, this fake girl is she's always doing something unverifiable and fake. So I was like, when you told me that, I was like, so she had an Instagram account with thousands and thousands of followers and she deleted it, and now she's gone and made another Instagram account with no followers. Like, I can't with this person.
You know the funny, it was weird. It's super. I'm not gonna lie, it's super weird. But like, so she recreated an Instagram account, and then I'm one of the only. I'm probably the only like 90 Day Fiance related person she followed, and then she also like knew some of my history, so she's all like, "Oh, she's like, why do you hate Jasmine so much?"
I think that this is Jasmine fucking you. I'm just gonna be realistic. I think that this is either
Oh
Jasmine.
shit! Is Jasmine's catfishing Shabooty?
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I
With like
think
a fake.
Jasmine
With
is trolling you.
okay, I don't know.
Oh, I'm telling you, I'm gonna laugh my ass off if that's the fucking case. I'm gonna be like, oh my God, she deserves a fucking Oscar.
Well, when you told me what was going on, I immediately thought it's not Mahogany because she's.
I don't know. It's just I think it comes down to the voice messages were pretty convincing, but
The fact
No,
that she
I have
asked you,
apps. I have apps where you can create voice. Like you can take a celebrity's voice and then you can record what you want it to say, and it'll
Yeah.
make the person say what you say in their own voice.
with the
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh my God, can we ask her questions?
well, we'll find out if she shows up Friday. If it's
Oh,
Jasmine,
she ain't gonna show up. Mahogany is the fakest person.
I'm sorry, I missed my connecting flight.
Yeah, she's the fakest person in the world. Like, I remember when she
Seriously.
was on the show and she had a fake apartment and she
Yeah.
had fake friends that she brought to meet Ben that weren't even friends, they were just actors, and her parents were actors. She's the fakest. Like, if you watch Catfish, right, and there's nothing but fake people,
Oh my God, I love that show.
she would be the big boss at the last castle on Catfish that you have to beat. So like there's all the catfish. She would be the big boss at the end. She's like the biggest catfish in the world.
Yeah,
No, she runs a fucking agency of catfishes. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
She runs a call center of scamming catfishing.
I'm
Like,
telling you.
she is
Yeah.
the queen of catfish. So when you
Well-
told me that, I was like, nah,
Well,
I can't even get on board with you with this. I can't even do it.
It's going to be interesting because it's like the queen of catfishing versus the king of tea that gets the bottom of everything. So it is like an interesting dynamic. But there was some weird shit where it's like she was telling me how she's like she's in school to be like a lawyer, so she has a big exam coming.
But what did
What?
she tell you? What did she tell you about what kind of lawyer she was?
Yeah, she's like she's in school to be a lawyer. She has an exam coming up, but then she's also trying to be like a sexy lawyer.
What?
Yeah, she said that she was trying to be a sexy lawyer.
Yeah.
Wait, no, you know
Lawyer.
what? I think I understand now. I think she is actually now a porn star that is playing a sexy lawyer.
She wants to be a sexy liar. That's what she wants to be.
Seriously. Oh my Lord, guys. What the fuck? Wait, so how do you know it was actually her?
He
Well,
doesn't.
The only thing I know is, and I know a general photo. I know a generic photo of her doesn't mean shit. But all I have to go by is a photo and then a bunch of several
So
messages.
when somebody messages me and says that they're somebody, the first thing that I do is I video call them.
Yeah.
So, and I don't give them any warning, because I've dated people that have been on TV before. So the first thing that I'll do if they don't message me from like a verified account or the account that has 1 million followers, in the middle of our conversation, I'll just hit the video call button in the DM. And if they don't pick up, I just block the account because I know it's fake. So when she messaged you, the first thing you should have did was hit the video call button. And if she declined the call, it's not her.
Like they're doing catfish.
Yeah, because
I don't know if it'll work if I like hit because like I'm listening through Zoom on my phone, so I don't know if I play the audio, I don't know if it'll like come through. But let me
you need to go on your laptop, go in the DM, and then hit video call
through my laptop.
Do you remember the time Neve Schulman from Catfish looked at my story?
He did. Why? I didn't
Yeah,
notice.
I don't know why he ended up like because you know on Instagram you can see who looks at your story, and he was like the top person.
Mhm. Okay, hold on. Let me try let me try to see if I can get my DMs in my laptop with the audio and shit.
Yeah, I don't play that. I'm this person, but my camera's broken, or I can't talk to
No,
you, or I look
Oh my god, I
weird.
know who it is. It's Meatball Danielle.
say what?
Oh, is it?
It's Meatball Danielle. She's trying to fuck with you. She just wants George's number, so she's trying to get to Shabooty to get to George.
She'll never get my number. I'll change it. She'll never get my number
Mhm.
ever. I'll never be that desperate.
I would laugh so
that.
hard if that's the case.
She needs help paying those Easy Pass tickets.
This is actually really funny because Shabooty, I don't feel like you are gullible enough to get catfish. So if this is a catfish, I'm gonna never let you live this down.
Yeah,
This is always gonna be a topic that I bring up if you're getting catfish. I'm just saying.
yeah, no, I feel you. The only, like I said, the thing that kind of convinced me were the several voice messages, like conversational voice messages. This sounded.
But anyone can fake that, dude. I can do her voice too. Like, hello, how are you? Shabooty? Oh. Okay, like I could do that too.
But
that is so funny because that's about what she sounds like.
I know.
That's so funny. So I don't know if you're getting catfish. We're definitely gonna ruin.
We're gonna clown on you, man. I'm
You're
sorry.
gonna clown you. Like you're gonna wish you never
yeah,
told us. This.
okay, I feel you. But if I'm not getting catfish, and let's say she joins the podcast, then that would make me the GOAT if it was a good interview.
Yeah.
It won't be a good interview because she did an entire tell-all and didn't answer one single.
No, well, there's a difference between the tell-all and there's a difference between a 90 Day Fiance Fridays interview, as we learned with Devin.
Well, I'm just saying she's never answered a single question, and she was on the show for like a year, and we still don't know who she is, where she came from, or if she's like a real person.
Okay, all right. All right, so everyone, be quiet for a second. I'm gonna try to play like a voice message on off my laptop or something. Okay.
Like, is it a full conversation, or did she just say one word?
Well, there's several voice messages, but let me just start from the top. You know what I mean?
But did she say like a whole thing, or did she just say one word?
Soda.
It was a sentence, but let's just start with the first one, which I think she says my name.
Okay, let's see.
So everyone be quiet, okay? Okay, all right, ready? Hold on, let's see. Hopefully this works. Let's see.
Okay, Shabooty. Play.
Okay, hold on. That was the first one where she says my name. But hold on, let me pull up the next one. Here's another voice message. Y'all heard that though, right?
Shabooty.
Here's another,
Yeah, I heard that. I ain't convinced.
okay, here's another voice message. Ready?
How can we talk about the promotion? It's just really needed, and I was just thinking, like, what did I do? I have not told anyone yet about that, so you're the first. So,
Like,
Dang, no fucking way.
I don't
Dang,
know who.
no
way.
fucking
I
way.
think that's Jasmine catfishing you.
Yo, chat. There
That shit
ain't
sounds
no
like
fucking
Jasmine.
she goes,
It
Jeff?
sounds like Jasmine.
way. It doesn't even sound like her. Do you know what she sounds like?
I don't. Okay, well, there's more voice messages.
Go ahead, go ahead.
I don't need to hear them.
Oh no, I want to hear. George, be quiet. I
Yeah.
need to hear these.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, be quiet. And then this is either way. This is gold. Like it's the gold podcast. All right, ready for the next voice message?
thank you. I think I'm so curious to be just, a friend of you, and I have a lot of outfits right now that I'm dressed for to take my room. But I would like to send you tomorrow a picture, and which is maybe if you have WhatsApp, we're just gonna talk about everything. Send me a link.
Okay, what do you think about that?
She asked you to go WhatsApp. She's a fucking fake. That's what all the fucking scam artists are
Yo.
doing. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
dude. You
That's
got
probably-
played.
She's gonna ask you for money next.
Yeah,
That's every single fucking porn bot, every single
Let
camera's like,
me
hey, join me
know.
on WhatsApp.
Let me know when you send her $500.
No, I remember her voice being more Hispanic type accent.
Mhm.
This girl sounds more Russian or something.
Yeah, she sounds
Yeah.
like she's putting on an accent to cover her accent.
Yes.
The WhatsApp is
Shabooty, didn't you tell me, like, I looked up the account that you were talking about. Doesn't she only have 11 followers?
yeah, it's like a new account. Yeah.
A
But
new
11 people? There's
account.
no way.
A new
I
account.
I am done. I'm
Dude,
done.
what the?
I am signing off for the
Oh
night.
my
Like I am
George,
done.
what is
Now we
going
gotta
on?
now we gotta get to the bottom of who's catfishing Shabooty.
Yeah, now I want to know who's catfishing you because I'm fucking done. That is
Dude.
not
Okay,
mahogany
can
at
I say
all.
something though? WhatsApp, her fake sexy lawyer, like,
Mhm.
dude, come on.
Yeah, somebody's catfishing you for money, Shabooty.
Oh my God, it's Jasmine, isn't it?
It sounds like Jasmine's voice trying to pretend to be somebody else.
She's gonna tell Shabooty to send her Amazon gift cards.
I mean, but it is awkward where she literally asked me, quote, why you hate Jasmine? Laugh out loud.
Yeah, it's Jasmine.
So she left Instagram over a year ago and came back just to ask why you hate Jasmine. That's what she needed to know.
I don't know, but
It's
It's
Jasmine.
Jasmine.
okay, yeah. So
It's
that one I just read was like later in the chat, but then earlier in the chat she said, "quote Well, Shabooty, I don't want. I don't. Let me read it again. Well, Shabooty, I don't want you to hate like you don't like Jasmine. I want to be a friend, no enemy." So yeah.
This is actually really hilarious
Oh
because
my God.
Yeah, this is too much. We gotta
you
get to the
are
bottom of this.
you didn't come across as a person who could get catfished to me
Sure.
before. So like this is really funny for me. Like the fact that you even bought this for a second, I am never gonna let you live this down.
We gotta
Like,
In my defense, I'm turning it into content for a podcast.
but
Yeah.
still, the fact that you even entertained it for like a minute is wild to me because people always message me all the time and they're like, "Oh, I know you. We used to, I know you from this, blah 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 blah." And I'm like, "Okay," so I'll call them instantly. Like I'll hit the video call and I was like, "Turn your camera on so I can see who you are," and then I'll block them. Like I've watched Catfish enough to know that there's no reason why you can't turn on your fucking camera. Or if I say send me a video of you right now saying my first and last name and where we met, and if I don't get a video within 15 seconds, I'm blocking that account.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like, I don't play these idiot games that these people play. I don't play those games.
Mhm.
Shabooty, I have a confession. It was me.
Wait, was it really?
It sounds like somebody's trying to get back at you and
You know what's weird though? There's like in the clip where she says my name, I swear there's the last like half second of it, you hear like a deeper man's voice where I'm like, oh, that had to be Ben.
probably Matt
Or Matt.
or Matt.
Wait, but isn't
Or
Ben dead?
or Johan.
No, Ben is not dead, Coco.
Oh my God. Oh,
Well,
who am I thinking
according
of?
to Catfish, Ben is not dead. No. Well, according to the court case, which I actually looked up as I was talking to Mahogany, the court case is still active. So yeah, Ben's still alive.
Okay. Well, he doesn't have cancer.
He does, but he still has a court
Oh, he's still alive.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
still alive. He's not
Why
dead.
did I think he died?
You're thinking of David Murphy. He died.
Oh,
The fact that
right.
she didn't want to answer any Ben questions, she doesn't know shit about Ben. She didn't even know who Ben is.
Yeah, I was gonna ask her who's Ben.
How's
Just
Ben?
ask her.
How's Ben? Who's Ben?
My husband?
Or ask her how does she like living in, and then just say a random state and see
Say
if
West Virginia.
and see if she's like, oh my gosh, Shabooty, I love it, West Virginia, because she lives in Michigan. So ask her how does she like living in Charleston or Charlottesville.
So I did ask her. I asked her. I was like, "Where are you living these days?" And she said, "Peru and USA, Michigan." And
Huh?
so, but
Huh?
I don't know. Whatever.
I,
I don't know. I'll have to investigate deeper. Let's put it that way.
We're gonna say
I don't. My investigation is officially closed. That ain't her.
we're gonna save the rest of the investigation for Friday when we have more listeners who can dig up some stuff because this is too funny.
I literally, it's almost as funny as the time Lauren joined our podcast. So.
Oh man, that was epic, man. Forget it.
Well, I'm glad.
I am not
I feel,
convinced
uh,
at all.
well, I can't wait to replay this episode.
I'm not convinced. And this is actually hilarious because when you played it, there was only like a hint of the mahogany accent, and then it was just some random accent that I couldn't put my finger on.
Yeah.
Because she did talk a certain way. It was soft, but she had like a Hispanic accent on top of another accent, if I remember correctly. I don't remember. It's been too long since she was on the show, but I had talked about this on on a podcast before of how she had like it sounded like she was speaking a third language when she was on the tell-all, because I was like, sounds like she has a native language, she learned a language, and then English would be the third one. That's the vibe that I got from her when she was talking.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was the mahogany update, allegedly / catfish.
Well, 11 followers, and the only person from 90 Day Fiance she follows is you. That's a dead giveaway for me.
Yeah, and then you can
Dead.
also look at her following. She's only following 95 people, but it's like all these random accounts of like celebrities and random
Yeah,
like artists and stuff. It doesn't seem like anybody that she'd truly follow.
yeah,
Well,
true.
yeah, she would follow like some people from Peru that she went to school with. She would follow, people that she met in Michigan while she was in Michigan. She would follow, like, when you delete your account and come back, you follow the people that you know in real life. You don't just follow Kim Kardashian. You will follow some of the people that you actually met.
Well, let me just say one thing though, and it may not apply to this case, so you all are probably right, but I will say, generally speaking, some of like the craziest, like hottest tea I've ever gotten are from like accounts that are like Finsta accounts, like fake, like Finsta fake Instagram accounts. They have like that's where I get those tips off of a lot of the tea comes from is from like Finsta accounts or like those fake accounts. They have like the craziest tea and it's
No,
real.
that's true. That's true. Those are the people that are linked to the T, and they can't use their own account. I get a lot of information that way too. I told you all of the stuff I got from Preview Models people when Josh first was on the Single Life, they would only message me from a fake account. So I don't know like what his legal team is like, but they would only use a fake account. And I had one guy that was messaging me, but that used an account that said he was a girl, and he was terrified of Josh, like terrified of coming forward, but wanted to tell me everything. So yeah, I agree. Those fake accounts are usually the ones that have the information. They're not usually pretending to be anyone else famous or anything, but they usually have a lot of information.
True. Well, I'll try to we'll get to the bottom of this, but
Right. Imagine she does show up for Friday's podcast.
I will fucking dude. If that's the case, I owe you dinner.
Yo,
Okay.
now I'm dying for her to show up on Friday.
if she shows up and she's being interviewed, imagine let's say it is a catfish, but imagine we do an hour-long interview with a catfish. Like is a catfish going to be able to maintain an hour-long interview with fake answers?
I mean, if she's that good, yeah.
I don't think a
No,
catfish
no.
will show up to an interview.
Do you
That's too
imagine?
Then it's probably
it's too on the spot, because a catfish needs to research their answers and like rehearse what
Unless
they're gonna say.
unless she's being told what to say by somebody who does know the answers.
But
we
that wouldn't work either, because on Zoom you would be able to hear the other person. Like it
No,
wouldn't
like
work.
you could write it down on a piece of paper and show it to them.
If you ask somebody a question and it takes them 15 seconds to respond, that's a crazy red flag in itself.
Well, hopefully she shows up so we can put her apart.
shows up, we'll know that it may be legit. So who knows?
Maybe.
Nah, y'all got me fucked up. No, y'all might think that. I know my investigation has been open and closed. I have already made the determination that that's not her.
We've already determined it's not her, but now we want to know who
Yeah.
put her up to it.
I'm curious to know who's messing with you, though.
Yeah, who put her up
That
to it?
that might be interesting, and why they would pick Mahogany of all the people to use to mess with you is also an interesting turn, because that's not even somebody that you're infatuated with or anything. So that's really weird to me too, because I was like, they could have picked Cara or Liz, or there's so many different avenues they could have
Because they
taken.
know that Shabooty knows Liz's voice automatically.
Well, okay, by the way, just like a random aside, because again, you all hadn't read the whole chat, but there was one part that was interesting because, as you know, one reason she may be reaching out to now I don't want to sound like I'm making excuses for legitimacy, but one reason she may be reaching out to me is I'm the one that broke all the tea about like Ben's like health situation, and then she wanted. I mean, I could pull up the DM, but one of the things she was saying was like people were alleging that she was the person that was leaking like Ben's health updates, and then she was like, "Yeah, people thought I was the one that was like talking about it, and it wasn't me." So I think she was under scrutiny, people thinking that she was the one talking about Ben's health.
Who are people? She's not on Instagram. She's not on social media. Who are people? How
Who
would
are
she
these
know what?
people? Who
How
are these
would
people chastising her?
Yeah? How would she know if anybody was talking about her if she's not on social media and she fell off the face of the earth for the last year? Who was talking about her?
I don't know, but that's what she was saying too. Anyway, we don't know. We don't have to dwell on it any longer in case there's a percentage chance I'm wrong.
You mean okay? Well, I'll leave it at that. That it could anything is possible,
Yeah.
right?
Well, now
I've heard stories where dead people in the morgue came back to life. So anything is possible. So we'll leave
We should all follow her on Instagram.
True.
We should all give her
You
a
know,
follow.
I'm pretty sure she like was looking at my most recent stories about. Let me see if she looked at the Jasmine post, right? The most recent one. You
Yeah.
Mahogany looked at it, like looked at the story. I think she may have. Hold on, let me check real quick.
We should all give her a follow and see what happens.
Mhm.
I don't follow fake accounts. Hold on. What's the username?
Hold on. I'm seeing if she was looking at the Jasmine T post. Oh yeah. So the one I posted about that revealed the 3 weeks old. So the Mahogany account did look that up on the story.
Oh, okay.
But her account is like it's Mahogany Roca _ MAHOGANYROCA _
All right, I see it.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Hold on. Okay, now I got to do it. Give me one quick sec.
But she's looking at my
and
story.
then all the people that she follows.
Uh-huh.
Sure, Shabooty. Sure.
Okay. All right. She follows you and TMZ and Twyla and Noah Beck and Kris Jenner and Snapchat.
Hold on. Okay, hold on.
Mr. Beast.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, she's still like she's checking my stories as I post them. So
Well, yeah, she's catfishing you.
true.
Of course.
Okay. All right, I found her. Yeah, she's new. I mean, dude.
Anyways,
I'm disappointed in you. I'm disappointed in you for falling for this.
That was a great segment though tonight.
You falling for this is gonna be like really fun. So when we do like on the road podcast, I'm gonna do a whole like segment on the road of me talking about how easy it is for people to catfish you.
Yeah, Jasmine.
Do a whole segment on it.
Jasmine just put up a picture of her baby, and it doesn't look like the other baby picture.
All right, let me check real quick.
Yeah.
Stupid Gino, he's in my way.
Wait, did you follow the account, Coco? Yeah, you did.
Yeah, of course I did. I want to fuck with it.
That's my favorite thing to do is to find an account that I know is fake and then fuck with it. It's really fun. Like it's one of my favorite things.
Okay, so the baby, does Maddie look like, I'm gonna say it, no, I can't say that on air.
True.
I just find it funny that she's like, happy birthday to my best friend and soul sister.
Wait.
It look like the same baby. I put it on the chat, guys.
Hmm.
Oh, it's gone now.
The chat or the text messages.
She took it off.
It's in the text messages.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying she put it, I can't find it anymore.
You mean on her page, or are you talking about?
On Jasmine's page.
Well, I think this is a 90 sips of reality post or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a Jasmine post. It's a 90 sips of reality post.
You really forgot about them kids, huh?
She said all her sadness and pain is gone, and pain are gone. So she don't even remember them kids no more.
Nope.
Because he said, "I'm over the moon and happy. She's an angel. All my sadness and pain is part of the past. The best is yet to come." So she basically is saying, "Fuck them kids."
my blonde, blue-eyed princess. Contrary to the other children that were not blonde and blue-eyed.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Wait, she actually said that.
Yeah.
Wait,
That's fucking crazy.
she said that? Where did she
That's a cunt thing to say.
send that screenshot?
I send it to the text messages.
Yeah, I'm looking. That is crazy.
Wait, where did she say my other kids don't have blue eyes or something?
Well, she's saying that this one has blue eyes and blonde hair, but we seen her son. He doesn't have blue eyes and blonde hair.
Yeah, but she's not talking about, but she doesn't mention the other kids.
No, she doesn't mention the other kids. I said contrary to her other children.
Oh, I thought she said that. I was like, Jesus
No,
Christ.
I said contrary to her other children who are not blonde and blue-eyed.
Got it. I was about to be like, Jesus Christ, woman.
And then
Fucking A.
she's not that diabolical.
That's why I was like, oh my God, what the hell?
Yeah, but basically she's saying it without saying it.
Yeah.
By the way, I have an update on Lauren, but should I save it for Friday?
Oh my God, I almost thought today's podcast was a Friday.
Today's Wednesday.
Because I'm never here on any other day but Friday.
You want a quick Lauren update?
Yeah, I do.
George, you're there, right?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, here's a quick Lauren update, which I haven't posted anywhere. The update is, according to him, do you want to hear the good news or the medium news?
Well, let's go with medium news.
Oh, do you want to hear the bad news or the medium news? There's no good news.
Let's hear the medium news, then the bad news, so we're gonna feel even better.
Yeah, the medium news is he's in training to get his CDL license, to be like a trucker.
Oh God.
Oh
Wait,
no.
he's going to be a truck driver now?
Yeah, he's in school to be like a truck driver, but
So no more TJ Maxx?
Yeah, no more TJ Maxx. He's not working there anymore. He's just in school to be a truck driver, and he's homeless again, according to him.
Well, he can't stay here.
Yeah.
Wait, so he's in school, but he's also homeless.
Yeah, according to him, he's in school to be a truck driver, and he's also homeless.
But you have to go to school to be a truck driver.
Yeah. Yeah, he's in school to be a truck driver, and he's homeless, and he doesn't work at TJ Maxx anymore.
Oh. And now I will not let him sleep on my couch.
There goes my discount.
Yeah, that's an update on.
Oh.
I thought he married his friend.
Oh, that he married and divorced that friend already.
Oh wow.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's old news. Right after his tell-all, he married the friend, and then by November, I think, of last year, he had already divorced that friend.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yes. I think he married the person just so he could sleep in their house. Honestly.
I told you he's a homosexual.
Yeah, I think that's literally what happened.
He's literally the textbook of a homosexual.
Yeah.
Yeah. He literally, whatever he has to do to secure a couch in somebody's house is what he did. So
True. And then he asked me on this current season of 90 Day Fiance on this that airs on Sundays. He's like, so is there? I forget his exact words, but he's like, so is there anyone as messed? I forget his exact word. I mean, I could pull it up, but you know how he's infamous in the same way Kyle is infamous in a negative way.
Yeah.
Is there a new character that's this bad guy like me and Kyle and I? And I was like, no, there's only an unemployed doughboy, but there's no weirdo like you.
TLC should have kept him on a bit. He was very entertaining.
Yeah.
he was entertaining. I liked him.
I'd rather watch him than the throuple.
Mm-hmm.
The throuple is the worst casting decision.
It was terrible.
I put out a tweet the other day that Jessica retweeted or reposted on her Instagram, and I was like, the irony is that there is a throuple this season, but it's actually one Jessica and Megan. It's not Matt, Annie, and Amani. So I was like, there is a throuple, and it's Megan, one, and Jessica. They're the only throuple on the whole damn season. We're watching a fake throuple when we didn't even ask for that, and then there is a weird throuple on the season, but it's not the one we wanted.
You know, and then what's funny too is that it's not like a throuple. It's not like a throuple where they know each other, but then on like Love After Lockup, there's another like throuple sort of.
Yes, there is. Yeah. If you're watching current season, yeah.
Yeah, Love After Lockup has another throuple coming up.
Did you hear that one of the current people on Love After Lockup, I can't remember his name. I think his name was Bradley.
What about Bradley?
The girl said that she found Grinder on his phone and he was hooking up with dudes.
I mean,
That's not Bradley. That's the black guy with the glasses?
No, Bradley was
Bradley's the blonde guy with the tattoos.
Yeah, the dark haired guy with the beard and the mustache.
With the beard.
Got out. Yeah,
and
that's Bradley.
He lived with a girl and they lived in like a mansion.
Oh yeah. Savannah's boyfriend.
Yeah. He said that she found his phone and it was in a hidden folder and he had Grinder on the phone, and she said she looked at the messages. And for people who don't know, because I didn't know what they were talking about, Grinder is a app for gay men that hook up. So she opened the app and it said that he was telling the guys, don't message me on here, message me on Xbox. And then they would message him on Xbox. So if she would be like, who are you talking to on Xbox?
Wait, this was posted on the Love After Lockup?
This was posted on like one of the sites on Twitter, one of the Love After Lockup gossip sites. This was a couple of days ago. So none of y'all saw it?
No.
I saw the post, but I didn't like click it. But
no, I didn't see that.
So
sounds like he got turned out.
So allegedly, let's just say so.
Yeah, let's say allegedly. And so basically what happened was he would have the guys message him on Xbox, so he wasn't using the Grinder app on his phone that much. And she found out because she found it in a secret folder, and then she screenshotted everything. And remember, he had a sister that Savannah hated. So she sent the screenshots to his sister.
Oh,
and then she confronted him, and then she said, well, they're not together anymore, spoiler alert. And she said that he forced her, like physically, and his sister to delete the screenshots. So there was no proof of it or whatever.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so it was a whole thing. And she said that on Xbox, she looked at the messages and he was telling men when she was going to be gone so they could hook up either at their house or at the gym to give him oral sex.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Jesus.
How did I miss that?
Why is it always a Bradley?
Yeah, there was one. I remember the black guy that had the glasses, the thick glasses, that the girl threw him a birthday party. Remember that?
Yeah,
he had a whole list of lovers, men lovers.
Yeah, I saw that too.
I saw that too. A host
I think that the men that spent a lot of time in prison, they end up turned out, right? They end up.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
that's
some
how
of them,
they stay.
Didn't Bradley do like 15 years or something like that? 10 years or something?
Yeah, it was a really long time. I don't remember exactly how long, but I think that's probably what happened. I don't think they went in there looking to be bisexual or gay, but I think after you're in there for a really, really long time, like that's just what it becomes. There's no women, right? Like there's no women. There's no options. Talking on the phone is talking on the phone.
Yeah.
Bradley's girl had his name tattooed on her, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
They're not together, and it's just weird though, because these women they put all of their hope and trust in these prisoners, and they're like, oh, he's gonna change my life. We're gonna get married. He's gonna be the perfect person, and for so many different reasons, it backfires. And I just can't imagine what would possess them to put all of their eggs in this basket of these guys who just got out. Like, what would make you think that this guy who is in prison for all this time is going to come out and be the model husband for you?
If I wasn't with you before you went to prison, there's no way I'm going to hook up with you after, because there has to be so many other places to find men than to shift through prison websites, you know?
Exactly.
But that's the thing. I think the women look at it as these guys don't have a lot of options, so they're going to be faithful to me. But I think what these women don't realize is, for some reason, men in prison are not optionless. Like they're in high demand. Lots of women seem to be interested in men that are in prison. I think a lot of women are like, oh, well, he's forgotten about. Nobody's visiting him. Nobody's calling him. Nobody's worried about him. So he's going to be obsessed with me. And I don't think that's the case at all. I think that these men actually are talking to 10, 15 women. They write letters. They hooking up with dudes. Like there's so much shit going on. It's like they should just go to a bar and find a guy. They will find less drama.
Yeah.
Well, I remember his sister telling her that he really didn't want her and he really didn't love her and he wasn't going to marry her. I think she was trying to tell her without telling her.
Oh yeah, now that you talk about it, I remember the scene from last week when he says that he didn't like having sex with her was the same and stuff like that. Remember when
Yes.
he was like, "Oh, it's not the same because she was like 20 pounds lighter or something like that."
Yeah, he was trying to say because she gained weight, but it might just be because she doesn't have a dick.
That's right.
That might actually be the real issue.
You know, some of them get turned out in there, and then when they come out, they try to justify it by saying, "Oh, I wasn't getting fucked; I was doing the fucking." You know what I mean?
Yeah, like
they're like,
yeah.
well, they're like,
Yes.
don't ever call me a bottom.
That's right.
They're like, I'm not a bottom.
That's right.
Like, I'm sorry. Does it make? I mean, it's just so stupid. It's just like, listen, if you're gay, you're gay. Who gives a fuck? Like, it doesn't
That's
make you less
right.
than a fucking man if you're gay. It literally doesn't.
No.
So I don't understand the whole fucking like issue that yeah. And here's the thing. I don't believe prison turns you gay. Like literally, you're very repressed, like trying to fight it all your life.
Right.
And then it just comes out, but I don't
Opens
think
it
like
up,
prison
yes.
just like makes you gay.
Yeah.
Like, I was in rehab for like 32 days. Like I wasn't like gonna go fuck other women. You know?
Exactly.
Well,
sorry.
Rehab box.
32 days is less than like 10
Okay,
years.
it felt like 32 months, but you know.
Wait, it felt that long? Seriously?
Fuck yeah! Oh my god! Okay? Think about this. You don't have a phone. It's actually rehab is worse than prison because you don't have a fucking phone. So for 30
Wait.
days you don't have a phone on you.
You didn't
No.
have like a certain time of day you could use the phone?
I mean, sure, but like, it just
But
sometimes
you
they
can't
wouldn't
talk
charge.
to family the first 30 days.
Yeah, you can't talk really. Yeah.
Oh, that's not an issue. I don't even like my family, so that's
I
not.
know. Like, I mean, you could like you could if you memorize their phone number, you can use the phone lounge, but that was it.
So you can do your OnlyFans in rehab?
No, I
Nope.
cannot. But I did make a very nice friendship with a 75-year-old man when I was in there.
At
True.
75, why didn't they just let him live his life? Why are they trying to get him out?
No,
drugs?
Well, he actually. I mean, I'm not going to give his business
Let
away.
him take himself out.
Right,
But
like let him live his life at this point.
well, it was kind of court ordered.
Oh, it was court
He
standard.
was a drunk driver. He hit someone. And
Oh,
he was
I
like
thought-
detoxing.
I thought he was just on opioids because I was like, if I'm 80 years old and I'm strung out on
Let
opioids,
me die.
just let me be. Right?
Exactly. If I'm 75 years
Well,
old,
I
you gotta
know
go
his
talk to
daughter
me.
put him in there. That's why.
Oh, okay. Because I was like, if I'm that old and I like to get high or do some crack, let me be.
Yeah,
I'm
just
all
let me be.
right.
I'm at the jumping off point.
Right. Like at that point, how many years do I really got left? Just let me do what I want to do.
Yeah, no, it wasn't
That's
like that.
facts.
Yeah. And by the way, this wasn't like some like rinky dink rehab. This is the type of rehab where you had to pay $65,000 cash. They didn't take insurance. So
For
you
30
know,
days is 65,000. Ooh,
that's what I paid.
Shabooty, let's open a rehab.
Open a 90-day rehab. Get it 90 days.
Oh.
Yeah, it'll be a 90-day rehab and we'll charge $90,000 per person.
Per person.
We could
Yeah.
group therapy.
And you know what, you guys can actually catfish Shabooty for free.
Oh.
And I'll be the therapist.
If I end up getting catfish, I'll have to remove this episode after publishing.
No, you have to leave it because I'm never letting this go. If we ever go on the road, I'm doing a segment where I just talk about you getting catfished. Like the whole segment is just you being catfished.
Shabooty's okay. I one time slept with the homeless man.
Damn.
Oh.
I remember that story actually.
Did he smell bad?
Well, I actually don't think he was homeless. My brother thought he was homeless because he brought a toothbrush to the bar, but you know.
Oh, he was definitely homeless.
Right. He was like, okay,
Wait,
by the way, he
Coco,
was like
wait.
80.
Not true, George. Not true.
No, I just realized that I spoke too soon. He could have had a breathalyzer in his car.
No, not true,
The
because
toothbrush was for when he was leaving drunk and he needed to, they put a breathalyzer on your starter. So I'm wrong. He
Oh,
might not
that's
have been home.
true. I never thought of that.
no, you know what? My friend used to actually take her toothbrush to the bar because she didn't like the red wine stains on her teeth, and she would be in the bathroom brushing her teeth at the bar.
Oh, see, I
She didn't like the red wine stains. She liked red wine, but she didn't like the way it made her teeth look all black. So she'd be in the bathroom like after every 2 glasses, brushing her teeth.
Or she could be bulimic, and after she pukes, then she wants to brush her teeth for
I
fresh.
was a bulimic for like 22 years, and that was a trick we did with the toothbrush. You're right.
True.
Oh, so yeah, there's lots of uses for toothbrushes other than brushing your teeth, I guess.
Right.
Yes.
I spoke too soon, so it's very possible that.
I mean, I have used the toothbrush to throw up when I'm sick and I feel like throwing up, but I can't stick I have big hands, so I can't stick my hand all the way down my throat.
Oh, please don't mention
Wait.
throwing up. I was throwing up for the last like 6 days.
I've never made myself throw up. I've only thrown up like.
Really? Oh
Yeah,
my God.
JLP, I thought you were a throat goat, though.
I am, but when you want to throw up, it's different than when you want something to come into your throat. You know what I'm saying?
No, I thought it was the same. I thought it like
My hand is really, really big, so I can't tickle down there to make myself gag. So I got to put something else to make me throw up.
Oh, so you have no gag reflex.
Yeah.
And by the way, I just want to give a real quick shout out that like if anybody like decides to send me dick pics or like random messages, I actually have videos of 80-year-old men bending forward with a butt plug in them, and I will gladly send them to you.
Oh, so
George
like
knows because I have sent him real old dick before.
yeah, it was terrifying. It was very scary.
You
And
weren't turned on?
No, I was traumatized, and I was raised in a religious cult, so it brought me back to the horrible molestation days. No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
Oh my God.
Joking. That's not true, and it was insensitive. I shouldn't have said that.
If we're still on Twitter Spaces, I would do like sound effects right now and stuff.
Yeah, that was probably a not so tasteful joke, and I apologize in advance. I shouldn't have said that.
Well, it's okay.
True. Before we end it, Elena, do you want to talk about any topics, assuming you're still at the mic? Or Lana, if you want to mention anything, let us know before we end it.
Yeah, I'm good, guys. I was just listening, and I was so glad you did an emergency podcast tonight. So
It's definitely more substantive than I was expecting it to be.
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
We got through a lot of shit.
yes.
Yes. It was very informative.
And I think we actually like knocked it out of the park when I didn't have high expectations. I was just trying to have a fun time.
I almost missed it. Fun fact: I was eating when Shabooty texted me, and I was like, "Okay, yeah, I'm eating. I'll text you when I'm done eating." And then I was feeling sick, so I laid down. I had the Masked Singer on, and then I woke up like 2 minutes before y'all went live, and I was like, "Oh crap! I almost missed the whole thing."
So yeah, let's end it, and then I want to actually upload this tonight so people could listen to the playback and see what's cracking in the Jasmine pregnancy world and in the Did Shabooty Get Catfish world.
Oh.
Yeah, both are very, very interesting. I'm shocked at both.
They're both shocking.
Yeah, they're both very shocking. Jasmine bringing another child into this world that looks like Matt, like literally, and then Shabooty being catfish. They're both very shocking stories.
The jury's still out, but yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, you're right. You're innocent until proven catfished, right?
Yeah.
So we'll see how this plays out. If she shows up on Friday, I will issue a public apology on the podcast on Friday for saying that you were catfished and you were not. I will.
Yeah, I will too. I'll actually start dating men my age if that's
If she shows up and actually provides a good interview, then I'd really deserve a crown.
Yes.
Though I want this to be a video podcast because I don't trust her as far as I can throw her. I just don't.
We'll see. We'll figure it out.
Because she's such a freaking liar, dude. Like for real, I can't. If you had to pick who lies more, Jasmine or Mahogany, it's Mahogany.
Well, once this podcast hits the air, we won't be hearing from her, period. She'll go back into seclusion wherever she came from because she's like, okay, they're on to me. Fuck, they're on to
They're
me.
gonna send her back into the oblivion.
Yeah, we're sending her back into the abyss. And if she does show up, we're gonna pick her apart piece by piece. So
I highly believe if she shows up, she'll leave mid-interview.
By the way, remind me to like screenshot the whole DM conversation for posterity.
Yeah, in case she
Please,
deletes the
yes.
account. Yeah, so you have it. Because
Yeah, I gotta save the whole conversation, like the text.
account will disappear.
yeah,
and
we're just gonna go on there now and start DMing her. How's Ben doing? How's Ben? How's Ben? Everybody just keep asking her, how's Ben? How's Ben?
Yeah, all right, after I end this, I'm gonna screenshot the whole conversation.
Yeah, message her on her old account and tell her it was nice talking to her on her new account.
Well, her old account is gone. She deleted it.
So
Oh.
it could be real, and she does want me to promote her new account, but we'll see.
Deleted it, but the only person that she follows is Shabooty from the entire 90-day universe.
Well, I am the one breaking all the tea on her husband. So
Now, a lot of the times is these producers masquerading as people to try to see.
Oh my God, what if it's Sharp?
Yeah, that's what a lot of
Wow.
times the producers
Sharp
masquerade.
Entertainment. That's
Well,
the male voice you heard.
That'd be something.
They probably have a new Jasmine show coming out, and they're like, you know what would be nice if Shabooty stopped shitting all over Jasmine so we could put this new show out.
Let's get dirt on Shabooty, so he has to be a good joke.
So they're like, let's get him to send nudes to Mahogany. He'll leave Jasmine alone. That's probably what they're trying to do right now.
Yeah, they're like,
We need some dirt on Shabooty and those disruptive members of his podcast.
Well, I feel like we're giving them too many ideas now.
Yeah, those scoundrels that he gets together with on Fridays.
And Wednesdays and Mondays and Sundays now.
Exactly.
It's basically every day now, right? It's basically every day.
But they're all great shows.
They are.
They are, and they keep getting even better every time. They keep.
I might even start showing up on Sundays.
You should. Yeah.
You should. Sundays are fun. It's a fun show on Sunday.
I'll try to give myself a break since I do Love After Lockup, then I do your podcast on Friday, then I do the whole show for 2 hours on Sunday, then we do that whole Monday thing. So I'm like, I need a little break in between of all these characters. But yeah, I think I'm going to show up on Sunday.
You should. We need you.
All right, guys. Well, it was great.
Right, it was a great pod. Don't you hate when people call podcasts pods?
Yeah, welcome to the pod.
Yeah, we're like the invasion of the body snatchers.
I don't mind the abbreviation. So you hate the abbreviation?
I think it's core. I mean, I'm just being funny, but yeah, it's a little corny when you're like, "This is an amazing pod."
Like invasion. It makes you think of Invasion of the Body Snatchers when they were all in those pods.
Yeah, but anyway, I'm not like I'm goofing around, but yeah, I'm not anti-pod, but I just think it's funny.
I don't know. Now I don't know how I feel. I thought it was okay. Now I might be being obnoxious. So
oh my God, George is having an existential crisis right now.
Yeah, now
look what you've done.
It's kind of pretentious or something.
Yeah, now I'm being pretentious. Now I'm confused. Now I don't know.
True. Well, anyway, we'll debate that Friday. Is pod
yes?
Not? Let's save that cliffhanger for Friday.
Yeah, we'll come to an agreement on what we actually should call it.
Yeah. So I think we should end it there. Sherry says, "Great show, guys. Love having more shows during the week."
Yes, Sherry.
Oh, thank you. Yeah,
Sherry.
I almost missed it. By the way, I'm glad I didn't.
Yeah, I'm glad you were here, and I think Gina's mic was acting up, so hopefully Gina's mic will be working again. And I think that's pretty much it. And we'll be back Friday, obviously, for the flagship show.
Yep.
Yes, we'll be back for the last resort.
True, and hopefully Jasmine listens back to the show and loves us for giving her all this attention.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's hold our breath on that.
True. All right. Well, this was a special edition of 90 Day Fiance Fridays on a Wednesday, and to go over the emergency Jasmine pregnancy situation. And that's about it.
Yep.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Toodaloo.